Hello, I'm Mary. I'm going to be demonstrating how to self-bandage today using VeroSwiss bandaging products. So right now I have the VeroFix. It's going to be just like a very light bandage. This is in 6 centimeters. I'll be folding it down to 3 centimeters to use for my toes, which I will explain how to do momentarily. Right here is going to be VeroLawn. This is a short stretch bandage. When bandaging for lymphedema, you always want to use short stretch. It's going to give you a good working pressure and resting pressure, which means that as you're exercising, as you're walking around, it's going to contain the fluid. But then if you're moving, it's not going to be too constrictive. If you're resting, it's not going to be too constrictive. Ideally, you would want a width that's in the middle of these two, but just for the demo today, these are what I'm going to be using. And then I also have the VeroTexelast. This is going to be even more of a shorter stretch than the Lawn. It's really good for areas of fibrosis where you need a little bit extra. However, my sample is too big as far as the width goes for your areas of foot and ankle. You're always going to want for the lower leg to do a smaller width. Going up to the thigh, you're going to want a larger width. So today I'm not going to use this. However, it's a very good product to use around the ankle if you have like a 4 centimeter or 6 centimeter. And then I have the Vero padding right here. So this is used for around the ankle or negative areas of space to kind of push out the fluid and tough areas that are not going to be contoured. So the areas that may bump out, if you have lobules, this is really good to use for that. And then I'm going to use some foam, which is just going to be, you can get different widths. This is probably about 1/8 of a centimeter. It's also going to serve the purpose of creating graduating pressure up your leg. And like I said, kind of filling out the contour. Generally, you're going to use a stockinette and obviously take your compression garment off first. Just because I'm demoing it, I'm just going to leave everything on just to make it easier. One thing I do really like doing in the winter, especially how all of us love leggings, I will just sometimes bandage over top of my leggings. Just, you know, to make it so you don't have to wear super, super baggy pants to fit over your bandages. All right, so for starters, I'm going to go ahead and roll up this bandage. So that's going to be 3 centimeters. So let me do this real quick. An important thing about bandaging that you want to remember is it's not about how tight you pull, it's about the layers and the thickness. That's actually going to create the compression. And you need the highest compression around your foot and the lowest around your thigh. If this is inverted, it's not going to push the fluid up and it might pocket it in certain areas where you have less. So say you don't go as strong around your foot than you do on your calf, it's going to push the fluid down to your foot instead of up. So you're always going to start doing the most layers and the most compression on the foot and ankle, and then once you get up to the top of your thigh, it will be the least. That's also going to be the same as far as arms go. You always want the top of the extremity to have the least compression. All right, so for your toes, you're going to start about right up here. So if you wear a toe cap, it's going to be similar to where the toe cap ends. You're going to start by just holding it right here and going across once to anchor it. Then you're going to go up to the big toe and go around the big toe like this. You want a little bit of pull, but you're not trying to make it tight. Go around that twice. You're going to go down again to the anchor and then go up. Do the same thing with every toe. So these smaller toes, you're going to do one full wraparound and then pull it down. It's important if you have sensitive feet, sensitive skin, to make sure you're not pulling too tightly. If you want an option for you, you can put a piece of adhesive foam on the side of the bone on the side of your foot with a hole cut out in the middle. That's going to push your bandages up a little bit, but allow your skin to breathe, and it's not going to push too tightly. And then your pinky toe generally doesn't get that much swelling just because it's always on the side. It's usually compressed with your shoes. And it can bother you if you bandage your pinky toe. So personal preference, I never do. So then you're going to bring it down here and you're going to wrap the rest of the bandage like this. All right, so at this point, you go ahead and put the stockinette on. Like I said, today I'm not going to do it just because I'm just demoing for you guys. But you're going to start after the stockinette with the padding. You're going to start up by the base of the toes and go around. And then for the ankle, again, similarly to the foot, you're going to anchor it about halfway across your foot and then bring it around the ankle like this. And then bring it down like this. And then bring it back around the ankle. This is going to put enough padding and comfort around the ankle where, again, it won't bother your bones because of too much compression. All right, so then you're going to take your foam. They also have different widths of foam. Again, this is a little bit bigger than I would generally use. If you do have something like this, just go ahead and put it around once and then do the thing with your ankle where you're going to anchor it like this. You're going to go up your leg and aim to have it overlap halfway. So if you can see here, that's about half of the foam. So that's where you're going to bring it back across. When you get up to the knee, you're going to do a similar thing like you do for the ankle. Go from the back of the knee, you're going to go up diagonally across the knee like this. And then grab your second piece. Start it again right here. Go up across. And then down to the knee to get the bulk of the knee. And then you can go ahead and go all the way up your thigh. All right, so then you're going to grab your lawn in the smallest width you have. Generally do about a 4 to 6 centimeter. Going to start all the way up at the base. At this point, if you had the stockinette, you would fold the stockinette over top of the foam and then put this on top. So you should have a little bit of a boundary of the stockinette. That's just going to buffer. It's going to kind of keep everything together. All right, so you're going to start, like I said, you're going to pull a little bit, but you're not going to make it tight. Just enough to get that stretch. So you're going to go around. Again, you're going to try and have it overlap by about half. Going to do the same thing around the ankle. So anchor it around halfway around your foot. And then go ahead and anchor it up and around. With the different shapes of your feet, with your heels, it might pull a little bit like this. If it does, just make sure that you go over it to get it tight. That's going to help it stay during the day. So, gonna go ahead and leave it right here. The standard for lymphedema is not to use the clips that come with the bandages. Really, it's just in case something slips. We know that it's really important that we don't have any skin breaks, especially for those of us who have diabetes and might not have the feeling that you should have in your legs. Don't use the clips. Go ahead and use just some normal masking tape. So, gonna go ahead and put a piece like this, and then grab your second bandage. Start just like that, so it layers it. Another tactic you can do when doing the short stretch bandages is almost kind of make it like a crisscross. So you go up a little bit right here, and then pull it down like this. All right, and then up. So see how this is a crisscross pattern? And that will kind of help the pressure as well to make channels to move the fluid up your leg. All right, so I'm getting to the base of your knee. You're going to do the same thing that you did with the foam. So bring it up about halfway. and diagonal across the base, and then pull it down like this. All right, and then you're going to go ahead, grab another piece of tape. And don't be discouraged too if this takes you a lot longer than it's taking me. I have been diagnosed with lymphedema for about 10 years now, and so I'm very practiced at this. You can always have help holding different parts of the bandage. If you have less mobility, you can have someone do the bottom of your leg, sibling, parent, child, spouse, whatever you need. All right, so as I was saying before about graduating pressure, you want your foot to have the most leading up so you don't have much up here. So this, as you can kind of test to feel, and this is going to have a lot more of a cushion feel, and as you go up it should be a little bit less. So you're going to grab a bigger width now that you're going up the leg. Start it about a quarter way down past your knee. Do the same thing, crisscross around your knee to make sure that you have that mobility behind your knee. One little trick I do is I bend my knee a little bit, make sure that you can't see the foam underneath. And you're gonna go up and still do the crisscross. Time for another piece of tape. VeroSwiss has a lot of different options as well. So Lawn and Texlast are two that are going to be really good for lymphedema, but they also have Lawn Cohesive that's going to stick to each other a little bit better. So if you do have lobules or a bigger limb circumference in general, this cohesive tape can kind of, or bandage can kind of help just keep everything together, and it's a little bit easier to do because it'll stick to itself. All right, so then you're going to go up to the thigh. You're going to generally do about to the base of where your leg ends, and this can be pretty light. So the misconception is you want to pull really tight right here. You don't. You want it to be just laying over the skin, and you can go ahead and tape it off. For the last one, I usually do a couple pieces of tape just so it stays on throughout the day. So go ahead and do about 2 or 3 pieces of tape just to make sure that it will stay. So there you have it. This again is using VeroSwiss products. It's using the Lawn, VeroFix, Texlast I did not use today. Remember, this is for your areas of fibrosis, and padding. If you want to check them out, we do have some links posted below. Thank you.